I know that you're all waiting for World of Warcraft videos, and I just want you to say that I hear you, that I am taking your feedback into consideration, and I have not forgotten you. All good things come to those who wait. And karma's a bitch. Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. So, Activision Blizzard have just had their earnings call. So let's just go through a few things pretty quickly. These are their 4 key growth drivers, major releases. COD Blops, which I believe didn't meet expectations that Activision wanted. I think they wanted 550 million in sales. Was it in the first weekend or the first week or whatever it may be? And they actually only got 500 million. Poor people. They must be crying into their silk handkerchiefs. But they were 50 million, I believe, short of what they had wanted. Blizzard released World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. How's that working out for you? Live operations, 4 billion plus in net bookings. Looking decent. Franchise expansion onto mobile. Many top mobile games are based on IP originally created for console and PC. And as we've seen from BlizzCon and the press conference afterwards, Blizzard themselves have said that they have moved some of their best developers off PC and onto mobile titles, and they will be making mobile titles across all their IPs. When they're going to come out, who knows? But quality over quantity anyway. And then new engagement models. We've got some Overwatch League and some COD stuff. Then we have a very markety, whatever. Then we've got some audience reach, which is quite interesting if you look about it. I mean, King, 262 million. Candy Crush, enough said. Activision, 46 million. Blizzard, not too far behind, 37 million. And then we look at deep engagement and player investments. This is where they kind of like big stuff up. Nothing too interesting to see here. This third quarter segment results is interesting. We've got segment net revenues. Then we've got segment operating incomes. Things that I'm interested here are Destiny 2. This is a game that you don't really hear about. And if you say operating income was lower year on year versus their prior year's quarter that included Destiny 2's full game launch and continued benefits from COD, Blops, Zombie Chronicles, and Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Key revenue contributors, including Call of Duty in-game performances and Destiny 2 Forsaken, though the latter underperformed expectations. Destiny 2 is doing nowhere near what they want it to. COD, Blops, although seemingly did well because it was up on some avenues, like I said, didn't hit their expectations when it came to revenue for Blops. So is it Activision that is also letting this, well, when I say letting this down, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when it comes to the investor very shortly. But WoW has its problems with Battle for Azeroth. And then, of course, we had the announcement of Diablo Immortal and how well that went down with its core demographic. And then we have all the other net revenues and the figures that the investors will be very interested in having a look at. So just how well did it go down with investors? Ouch. It didn't go down particularly well at all. We see that at the current time, out of hours trading, the stock price has fallen off a cliff. It's not a cliff, it's gone into absolute free fall here. Now, it is stabilizing a little bit here down at the bottom, but look at that steep drop. This is where trading closed today at about 62.79, and then it's now down to 56.70. That is $8.39 and 12.88%. which is monumental. That near 13% equates to, I think, ridiculous billions, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, just to get you some kind of context, people, let me just look at the standard 5-day trading. And I have done a video on this recently. Let me just lift this up and across here so you can get a better view. This was coming out of BlizzCon. This bang is what happened after BlizzCon. There was a resurgence the day after that, but even on that same day, that resurgence could not continue. And it actually dropped below the lowest of the previous day before recovering just very slightly, but ending a little bit lower, I think, on the day. The next day saw better results as it started to recover again and maintained a bit of its recovery, but once more started to drop off and then vastly dropped off towards the end. And then today's trading. This is today's trading. Woof. Down it goes. And this is where it was on the actual day's trading. And then, of course, we have where it is now in after hours trading. This is after hours trading that we're actually seeing here. So, as you see, it's actually dropped even further now. If I just move this down, boom. It's now gone down past the 13%. So it is just kind of like fluctuating a little bit here and there. But this is the after hours trade. And there you can see where it ended. And there's the drop off from the actual day's trading. And then it maintained. So since BlizzCon, the actual percentage which has been lost on the Blizzard share price is around about 21%. So shareholders were clearly not happy with what they saw at the investors, and due to the fact that the very steep drop comes really quickly after close of business, lends you to believe that news came out about what to expect at the earnings report, and hence why it had a steep drop there. So, in terms of Activision, we've already mentioned COD underperformed, even though it seemingly did well. But remember, you can't just have profit these days, people. You've got to have all the profit. And Destiny 2 is... that game should be right up there. And it's not. And it's really easy to see why it isn't. And it's a colossal shame. But that's what you get when your business model is to fleece people. And people rebel and they go, screw you. And I don't mean this to sound awful, but I'm really glad that Forsaken underperformed. I'm really, really pleased. I'm really, really pleased that gamers voted with their wallets. With the state of Destiny 2, with the way that it was put together and the absolutely egregious, disgusting Eververse, just repugnant Eververse store. For the game. So Destiny 2 got everything that it bloody well deserved, and good luck to you on that one, Activision. And then we have BlizzCon and the farce at BlizzCon with Diablo Immortal. Now, I'm not saying that mobile is going to fail at all. I think there's obviously plenty of money to be made in there. I think mobile gaming, if you add console gaming and PC gaming transactions together, you get mobile gaming's transactions. I think that's roughly how it kind of equates to it. It performs twice as good as PC or twice as good as console. So if you want to put it in those sort of terminologies. But for an investor, some really interesting information coming out of that BlizzCon, and that BlizzCon press conference afterwards, of course, was Blizzard themselves said that our PC developers have been stopping playing PC games and have been playing a lot more mobile games for a while now. I personally think that's horse shit. I think that was said to try and say, hey, look how committed we are to mobile gaming. But I could be wrong. That could be absolutely legit. And maybe that's why the developers appear to be completely out of touch with their audience. Because they're doing one thing and their audience is expecting a completely different thing. They've also said that they're moving a lot of their best developers off PC and onto mobile titles. So from an investor's perspective, what they're hearing is our core audience, who are PC, pretty much across every single game, we are moving away from them. We are pulling the best people off, and we're moving away from them, and we are pushing them into mobile markets. And regardless of whether you say, we have multiple teams working on multiple projects, or we have not forsaken our PC crowd, our target audience, words are cheap. Actions speak louder than words, and Blizzard's actions are the PC, the best developers, the developers themselves, are moving away from PC onto mobile. So their actions are saying one thing, their words mean nothing until they are substantiated with substance. PC games. So the developers are literally, the investors are going with what they see, and what they see is a company whose core demographic is PC, abandoning them, moving away from them. And maybe that is enough, as well as the Activision stuff, to say, you know, maybe we need to step away. Maybe we need to step away from this now, because we're not sure that this company knows what its audience actually is anymore. And Diablo Immortal is nowhere near ready. This isn't a game that's close to release. This is nowhere near ready. Never mind all the other IPs that they are wanting to place onto mobile. And therefore, it's going to be a long time until you start to see some mobile results. Now, those results may be great. They may be fantastic. They may be okay. They may be terrible. We don't know what they're going to be. But in the meantime, they're still left with their core PC audience, and Activision Blizzard are saying, we're pulling people away from it. We're pulling people away. And that could be more than enough to scare them away. So you can see how this is updating. And this is the NASDAQ market. This is the NASDAQ website. So this is the up-to-the-minute stuff going on in out of hours. Where this will open tomorrow, I'll keep a keen eye on this. But the investors' call has not gone down well with investors one bit. And the after-hour stock price is essentially down 13%, $8.44. Crazy stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.